On this week's show, Renault's tiny Twizy goes to Canada, how CHAdeMO could one day power your home, and Tesla shareholders ask the Californian automaker to go vegan. These stories and more coming up next on 10. Enjoying today's show on YouTube and want to read the stories we're referring to today? Either click on the little information bar at the top of this video on selected stories, or head to our website at www.transportevolved.com, where you'll find the latest future car news, as well as our buying guides, tech primers, and of course, our weekly show notes. It's Friday, June 12th, 2015. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, and I'm wondering just how fun it would be to drive a Renault Twizy in minus 40-degree weather. When it reaches completion next year, the Tesla Gigafactory in Reno, Nevada will be the biggest lithium-ion manufacturing and reprocessing facility in the world, employing some 6,500 workers and outputting more than 50 gigawatt-hours of lithium-ion battery packs per year. As such, it's hard to grasp just how big the Gigafactory construction site truly is, especially if, like us, you've never been there. And a few weeks ago, we got our first real sense of scale thanks to an excellent super high resolution 4K video filmed from a drone flying over the facility one weekend. And this week, a second 4K video popped online from another cameraman keen to show us the entire site from the air. With permission from Tesla to film, this pilot actually took off from the Gigafactory parking lot next to a Tesla supercharger we didn't even know existed. It's another gorgeous video, despite being filmed several months ago, so do make sure you watch it when you're done with us here. With plenty of room for luggage and an all-electric range in the real world of between 60 and 80 miles, depending on how you drive, the Nissan ENV200 electric van was a versatile and welcome addition to Nissan's electric car fleet when it entered production last year. And at this year's Geneva Motor Show, Nissan made lots of minivan fans happy when it announced that the ENV200, which originally only launched with a 5-seat and cargo van variant, would go on sale this summer as a 7-seat minivan too. Well, this week, Nissan GB set the price for that UK 7-seat ENV200, as well as introducing the upmarket Evalia trim line for the first time in the UK. With less van and more car-like trim, the Evalia variant of the ENV200 is ideal for anyone with lots of stuff or kids to transport, and will be available from £23,400 with battery rental for the 5-seat or £27,225 with battery rental for the 7-seat variation. While we don't have time to detail all of the options here, do head to our website where we've put more information. We're heading back to Reno, Nevada for this story via Japan, courtesy of Panasonic, Tesla's partner in the $6 billion Gigafactory project. As he reported this week, Panasonic has just announced its intention to send hundreds of its workers to Reno in the coming months, primarily to help Tesla finish construction of the Gigafactory and ready it for lithium-ion cell production. Something like that might seem a little complicated and perhaps even counterintuitive, but as we found out on our recent trip to the Nissan battery facility in Sunderland, UK, the reason Panasonic is sending its own highly scaled, trained staff all the way to the US is to help Tesla ensure its Gigafactory facility adheres to all the strict clean room procedures which must be undertaken before a building can produce a single battery cell. Like a NASA facility or our microelectronics plant, Tesla's Gigafactory will need to be free from any contaminants before a single cell is produced. So we suspect Panasonic's experts will be on hand to ensure that not a single speck of dust goes where it shouldn't. And while that might seem like that's easy, having talked to Nissan staff, I can tell you that that is really, really hard. And yes, decontamination is seriously expensive. Here at Transport Evolved, we have the joy of spending some time behind the wheel of the all-new Volkswagen Golf GTE. It's a plug-in hybrid that combines sporty performance of a 75 kilowatt motor and a 1.4 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder gasoline engine with 30 miles of zero emissions capabilities and, of course, Volkswagen's legendary Golf family name. But for those in the US, the closest you're going to get to the GTE for now is the upcoming Audi A3 e-tron Sportback hatch. Based on the same chassis and drivetrain as the Golf GTE, it's essentially an upmarket Golf. The A3 e-tron Sportback has been promised to US buyers now for more than a year. But despite that, and it already being on sale in Europe, it hasn't yet made the trip over the Atlantic Ocean. Thankfully though, that wait might be over, said Auto Spies this week, which obtained information to suggest that Audi will launch the plug-in hybrid this fall, with dealerships due to take their first cars just before Halloween. Audi hasn't confirmed that release date or the launch price, but if you're on the lookout for a fun compact hatch plug-in hybrid and you like your Vorsprung der Technik, we think you'll want to note that date in your diary. It's the oldest and most popular electric car rapid charging standard in the world, despite attempts from both German and American automakers to convince the world that CCS is the way forward. And now CHAdeMO has a plan to offer more than just electric car charging in the near future. As we reported on Tuesday, the CHAdeMO Association, which obviously defines what is and isn't part of the CHAdeMO standard, is on a drive to encourage utility companies and electronics firms to adopt the CHAdeMO standard for domestic charging stations for electric cars, using it to enable two-way power transfer to and from electric car battery packs. It's something that's already happening in Japan thanks to Nissan and various other similar vehicle-to-home systems designed to help electric car owners run their homes off the energy stored in their car's battery pack in an emergency. Even hydrogen fuel cell cars from automakers like Toyota and Honda already include that standard for the same reason. To that end, the CHAdeMO Association says it's hoping to tie down vehicle-to-grid compatibility in its official standard moving forwards, so that its standard charge connector can become a power transfer standard for more than just filling your battery pack quicker than it takes to have a cup of tea. Jolly good. And they offer a glimpse of things to come in the near future, but to date, only 4 states in the US allow autonomous vehicles to travel along their roads alongside everyday traffic: California, Florida, Michigan, and Nevada. That's partly due to the complex process of ensuring cars and both regular road users are correctly insured for use on the public highway. But as we explained this week, autonomous vehicles are about to be let loose on some of the most congested roads in the United States, specifically 70 miles of roads in the northeasternmost portion of the Commonwealth of Virginia. A pilot project being overseen by the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute, the 70 miles of highways will be opened up to approved autonomous cars to investigate and research how they can interact with other road users in the real world. But these roads also happen to include I-95, I-66 and I-495, the latter, of course, which is the capital beltway around Washington, D.C., known for its horrendous congestion as thousands of Americans head into the capital for work every day. We're going to be watching this one carefully because from what we hear, autonomous cars are a little on the timid side, and that's something you can't say of drivers on the 495. Good luck, little buddies. I know it's the third Tesla story this week, but hey, there's been a lot of Tesla news and we've already thrown out 4 other stories to get these 3 in. Anyway, this week Tesla had its annual shareholder meeting at the Computer Museum in Mountain View, California. And as usual, shareholders were given the chance to submit proposals ahead of the event for a democratic vote. And this year's 2 proposals essentially boiled down to the same thing, namely that Tesla should stop using real animal products in its range of electric cars. Enter husband and wife team Mark and Elizabeth Peters from Hurst, Texas, who implored fellow Tesla shareholders and the Tesla board to stop using leather in their cars and instead use synthetic leather substitutes. While Mark gave the environmental case for dumping leather, namely the massive carbon emissions from animal farming, his wife gave the ethical argument, sharing her opinion that killing animals for food and their skin is morally wrong. While the Tesla board recommended voting against the measure, we'll have to wait a few more days to see if the rest of Tesla's shareholders voted with or against the board. It's one to watch. And finally, if you've spent any length of time watching this show, you'll know that the tiny Renault Twizy is a car we hold a lot of affection for. Despite being smaller than a Smart for 2 with no heater, no windows and no doors in some cases, the tiny Twizy is a little pocket rocket with a top speed of 50 miles per hour and the kind of go-kart handling that makes it frankly addictive. And we're not alone either, with some of its fans including the legendary Sir Sterling Moss. Well, this week, we found out that if you live in Canada, you'll soon be able to buy one, courtesy of the Asra charging network. As we explained on Thursday, the French-Canadian company has just become the official Renault Twizy importer, and once all the necessary paperwork has been completed, we'll be offering the Twizy for sale across Canada for anyone who wants one. The price, 17,000 Canadian dollars, which we assume does include battery ownership too, because it's kind of expensive. And there's no plans to introduce the tiny car south of the border yet, but we wouldn't be surprised if some actually do head south unofficially. After all, if you've got to be seriously hardcore to own a car with no heater in Canada in the winter, right? And I'm saying that as someone who's half a Canuck. -40, no heater. Ooh. Another week of cool stories done. At least ones that we had B-roll footage for. Yeah. We'll be back next week at the usual time for another show, but in the meantime, you can find all the other news that's fit to print on our website at www.transportevolve.com. Chat to us on Twitter at transportevolve, or head to our YouTube channel to catch up with our latest shows. As always, there's a lot we haven't managed to fit into today's show, including the new diesel-electric hybrid trucks going into service in Sweden that use overhead power lines for zero-emissions travel. Elon Musk's Hyperloop is about to become reality on a 5-mile track in California. The Mercedes-Benz E-Class gets autonomous drive capability from March next year. And Tesla promises that the Model X will be a better SUV than the Model S is a sedan. So when we're done, be sure to head to our site to read them all. Thanks for watching. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Have a great weekend, and until next time, keep evolving.